You will be shocked by what happened when this arrogant woman started laughing in court." The judge reacted quickly in a way no one expected, shocking everyone in the room. On June 23, 2016, the quiet courtroom 502 at Wayne County Courthouse in Redford Township, Michigan, was suddenly filled with unexpected laughter. Judge Shanna Lillard looked up fast, her eyes narrowing as she saw where it came from. Not from spectators or visitors, but from the defendant's own family. What should have been a routine sentencing hearing would soon become a viral moment of accountability and a powerful lesson about respect in the justice system. Amanda Kosel, 25, stood before the court awaiting her fate for a drunk driving crash that had claimed the life of Jerome Zerker, a 31-year-old father of 5. The gravity of the situation seemed lost on some members of her family, particularly her mother, Donna Kosel, who would soon face consequences of her own for her inappropriate behavior in court. The courtroom was divided like a battlefield that day. On one side sat Jerome's family, his mother Rachel clutching a tissue, his sister preparing to deliver her victim impact statement, and his fiancée, Brittany Johnson, who had survived the crash but suffered severe injuries. Their 5 children fidgeted quietly beside her, too young to fully grasp why their father would never come home again. On the other side sat the Kosel family, a stark contrast to the somber atmosphere across the aisle. As Jerome's sister rose to speak, the room fell silent. "My brother was the kind of person who would give you the shirt off his back," she began, her voice trembling. "He worked 2 jobs to support his family. Now his children will grow up without a father." That's when it happened. A snicker, then another. Amanda's mother, Donna Kosel, came across something funny. She was sharing it with another relative. Both of them were trying hard to hold back their laughter. They completely disregarded the heartbreaking testimony happening just a few feet away. Judge Lillard, known for her no-nonsense approach, stopped the proceedings mid-sentence. The atmosphere grew tense, as if the air itself had chilled, while she locked her steely gaze on the disrespectful individuals, leaving no doubt that their behavior would not be tolerated. "Whoever can sit here at a tragic moment like this and laugh and smile when somebody has lost a family member," she began, her voice sharp and unwavering, cutting through the room with a force that made everyone sit up a little straighter. She focused particularly on one of the individuals. That clown, and that's what I'm going to call the person, a clown, was sitting there smiling and laughing. Then, turning her attention to Donna Kosel, the judge delivered the words that would soon ripple across the internet. "And you can leave as well. If you don't know how to behave, you can end up in jail. I understand that you're upset because your loved one is being sent to prison. But guess what? She is going to prison because of the decision she made. These people are here mourning, devastated because a meaningless act took their loved one away. And yet, you're sitting here treating it as if it were a joke." Without hesitation, Judge Lillard ordered Donna to be taken into custody. 93 days in the Wayne County Jail for criminal contempt, she declared. The transformation on Donna's face was instantaneous, from dismissive disrespect to shocked disbelief, as court officers led her away. "Not in courtroom 502, not today and not any other day," Judge Lillard added, making it clear that such behavior would never be tolerated in her courtroom. The courtroom fell silent, the gravity of the situation finally sinking in for everyone present. Amanda Kosel, already facing the consequences of her actions, now watched as her mother was escorted out, her own poor choices compounding the family's troubles. The Zerker family, though still grieving, felt a small measure of justice in seeing the disrespect towards their loved one addressed so swiftly and decisively. Meanwhile, the sentencing of Amanda Kosel continued, and the full details of the tragic crash came to light. On January 17, 2016, Amanda Kosel had been drinking at a local bar. Security footage showed her stumbling to her car, ignoring friends who offered to call her a cab. She insisted she was fine to drive, words that would haunt her forever. That very night, Jerome Zerker had just picked up his fiancée, Brittany, after her late shift at a nearby care home. By some miracle, their 5 children, who typically went with their father to pick up their mother, had stayed with their grandmother that evening. As Jerome and Brittany drove home, discussing their day, Amanda's car crossed the center line, hitting them head-on. Jerome died at the scene, while Brittany suffered severe injuries. But, as she would later testify in court, the physical pain paled in comparison to the emotional trauma. In one senseless moment, she had lost her soulmate, and her children had lost their father. "I don't hate you, Amanda," Brittany said, her voice steady despite her tears. "What I hate is the choice you made that night. Jerome always said everyone deserves a second chance, so I hope you use this time to become someone who honors his memory, not someone who takes life for granted." Jerome's mother, Rachel, also addressed the court with an unusual request. She didn't want Amanda to just serve time. She wanted her to work and support Jerome's family the way he would have if he were still alive. "I want her to remember what her actions took from my grandchildren," Rachel said, her voice thick with emotion. "Every week, I want her to think about the lives she's changed forever." After the emotional testimonies from Brittany and Rachel, Judge Lillard called for a brief recess to consider the sentencing. The courtroom remained tense as everyone awaited the judge's decision. As the court reconvened, Judge Lillard turned to Amanda Kosel. "Miss Kosel, the impact of your actions and their consequences cannot be underestimated," the judge declared. "Sorry for the interruption. Before we continue with the story, I kindly ask you to like the video and subscribe to this channel. It is very important for us. Thank you very much." Amanda Kosel was sentenced to 3 to 15 years in prison for the deadly drunk driving crash. As she was led away, the weight of her actions and their consequences seemed to finally sink in. The courtroom fell silent once more, but this time it was a silence of reflection and understanding. As the courtroom emptied following Amanda Kosel's sentencing, a flurry of activity erupted in the hallway. The Kosel family, still reeling from the double shock of Amanda's imprisonment and Donna's sudden 93-day jail sentence, huddled together in urgent conversation. "We need to get Mom out of there," Amanda's sister Jessica insisted, her voice trembling with a mix of anger and fear. "This isn't right. She didn't do anything wrong." Their father, John, nodded grimly. "I've already called Uncle Mike. He knows a good lawyer who specializes in appeals. They're on their way now." Right on time, a man in a sharp suit walked quickly toward them, carrying a briefcase by his side. "I'm attorney David Rosen," he said, shaking John's hand. "Mike told me about the situation. Let's find a quiet place to talk." They retreated to a small conference room where Rosen listened intently as the family recounted the events leading to Donna's contempt charge. His brow furrowed as he took notes, occasionally asking for clarification. "Listen," Rosen said, leaning in. "I'll be honest with you. Challenging a contempt charge is tough, especially when it's issued by a judge like Lillard. She has a reputation for maintaining strict control in her courtroom. But there must be something we can do," Jessica exclaimed, her eyes glistening with unshed tears. Rosen held up a placating hand. "Our best bet is to prepare a sincere apology and request for leniency. We'll emphasize that Mrs. Kosel's behavior was out of character, brought on by the stress of the situation. We'll also need people who know her to speak about her usual respectful nature." The family nodded eagerly. Hope began to replace their despair. "The most important thing," Rosen continued seriously, "is for Mrs. Donna Kosel to show real remorse. No excuses or justifications. She must take full responsibility for what she did and express sincere regret, especially to the victim's family." As the family absorbed this advice, Rosen began drafting the appeal. The conference room buzzed with activity as they gathered character references and prepared their strategy for the following day's hearing. Donna Kosel, in a jail cell, was already coming to terms with the gravity of her actions, setting the stage for a transformative appearance before Judge Lillard the next morning. The next day, Donna Kosel stood before Judge Lillard again, changed by her night in jail. She was no longer defiant or disrespectful like before. Instead, she looked truly sorry and humble. She stood quietly, her face serious. Standing beside her was attorney David Rosen, his presence a silent yet reassuring support as Donna prepared to address the court. She took a deep breath, her hands clasped in front of her, and spoke with a voice that trembled slightly with emotion. "Your Honor," Donna began, her tone sincere and measured, "I want to express my deepest and most heartfelt apologies for my behavior yesterday. I understand that it was completely unacceptable, and I deeply regret my actions. There is no excuse for the disrespect I showed in this courtroom." Rosen gave a small nod of encouragement, and Donna, summoning her courage, turned to face Jerome Zerker's grieving family. "To the Zerker family," she continued, her voice cracking slightly, "I am truly, profoundly sorry. My actions were thoughtless, inconsiderate, and disrespectful. You deserved far better from me, especially during such a painful and difficult time. Mr. Zerker's memory deserves nothing but the utmost respect, and I failed to show that. I cannot undo my behavior, but I hope you can find it in your hearts to accept my sincere apology." As Donna spoke, Attorney Rosen stepped forward and presented the court with a series of character references, as well as a formal request for leniency. He emphasized Donna's history of being a respectful and law-abiding citizen, attributing her uncharacteristic behavior to overwhelming stress and poor judgment in the moment. Judge Lillard listened intently, her expression remaining unreadable as she weighed both Donna's previous conduct and her apparent remorse. When Donna finished speaking, a heavy silence hung in the courtroom before the judge finally addressed her. "Mrs. Kosel," Judge Lillard said in a steady but firm voice, "I appreciate that you are taking responsibility and sincerely apologizing. Your behavior yesterday was wrong and completely inappropriate. However, I can see that you truly regret it today." After a brief pause, she delivered her decision. While Donna had originally faced a harsher penalty, Judge Lillard reduced her sentence to time served. "Let this serve as a lesson," the judge continued, her gaze unwavering. "Actions have consequences. This courtroom demands respect, not just for the law, but for the dignity of human life. I hope that moving forward, you will carry this lesson with you and never forget the importance of conducting yourself with the respect and decorum that every person deserves, especially in times of grief." News of Judge Lillard's response to the courtroom disruption quickly went viral, with millions of viewers praising her swift justice and commitment to maintaining respect in her courtroom. But for the judge, it was never about becoming an internet sensation. In subsequent interviews, she emphasized the importance of upholding the dignity of court proceedings, especially during moments of deep grief and loss. Today, Judge Lillard's courtroom stands as a reminder that justice isn't just about laws and procedures. It's also about basic human respect. The incident is now used as an important lesson in legal education to highlight proper courtroom behavior, and a judge's authority to enforce it. Law students study this case not only for its legal aspects, but also for the valuable lessons it teaches about compassion, responsibility, and the human side of justice. As for Jerome Zerker, his family continues to advocate for stricter drunk driving laws and support other families affected by similar tragedies. The events in courtroom 502 that day remind us that true justice encompasses more than just verdicts and sentences. It requires respect for the law, respect for the court, and, most importantly, respect for human life and the profound impact its loss has on those left behind. Judge Lillard's actions underscored an essential truth. In moments of tragedy, the least we can offer is our sincere respect and attention. Visitors to the Wayne County Courthouse today might notice something special in courtroom 502. A small plaque now hangs near the judge's bench bearing the words, "Justice without compassion is incomplete, but compassion without accountability enables poor behavior." It serves as a daily reminder of the day when a moment of disrespect led to a powerful lesson in justice, accountability, and the enduring impact of our choices. Did you like this story? What are your thoughts on Judge Lillard's reaction? Do you believe it was fair and necessary to maintain order in the courtroom, or do you think Donna Kosel's sentence was excessive? Let us know in the comments below. If you liked the story, please subscribe to this channel and leave a like. Respect and responsibility are essential duties, especially when confronted with the pain of others. Thank you so much for listening. See you in the next video. Have a great day.